This photo essay was inspired by a photography class I took at Northern Virginia Community College. The images are from 3 protests in Washington, D.C. against the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court of the United States. At the protests, I encountered thousands of people and captured nearly as many images. The mood was especially somber, as many of the participants are victims of sexual abuse. My goal was to select a set of images that are visually compelling, represent the mood of the moment, and occasionally include a bit of humor in an otherwise tense situation. Hopefully, you will see what I experienced, the crescendo of emotions leading to the controversial confirmation of a Supreme Court judge. On July 9, 2018, President Donald Trump announced his selection of Brett Kavanaugh, a judge working on the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, to fill the Supreme Court seat vacated by retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy. During the rancorous confirmation process, Democratic members of the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee, the body charged with approving the nomination before it is voted on by the full Senate, accused Judge Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct when he was in high school 35 years ago. The final weeks of his confirmation and the ensuing testimony were focused on those charges and accompanied by numerous protests. This book captures scenes from several protests in Washington, D.C. just prior to the confirmation vote. These images were taken on Thursday, September 20th, 2018, several weeks before the scheduled confirmation vote. Small groups gathered inside of the Hart Senate office building. Some people remained in the lobby, intending to draw attention to their concerns. Meanwhile, others made their way through the building to hand-deliver thousands of letters to senators from their constituents expressing mostly negative opinions about Judge Kavanaugh's confirmation. Otherwise, it was business as usual for many who were not involved with these groups. The group hand-delivering constituent letters divided into small groups to cover the 100 Senate offices. A camera crew from the Showtime news magazine The Circus followed the group where one of its members brought her children. I decided to tag along. The kids learned something of our political process and that the candy available in Senator Durbin's office was particularly tasty. On Thursday, September 27, 2018, Brett Kavanaugh and one of his accusers, Christine Blasey Ford, testified in front of the Senate Judicial Committee. A group of protesters, many of whom are victims of sexual abuse, met in the Senate office buildings to share their support for Dr. Blasey Ford and voice their outrage at Judge Kavanaugh's nomination and his unusually aggressive partisan agenda. Thursday, October 4th, 2018, people gathered in front of the D.C. Superior Court, where Judge Kavanaugh's courtroom was located, in one of the final efforts to block the nomination. Despite its size, there were even some familiar faces in the crowd.